Okay, it's recording.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's America's franchise matchmaker and founder of Franchise Logic, Carrie Ann Golliver today. And today I am interviewing a very special woman. She is Michelle Lee. She is a leadership concierge coach for women specifically. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. I so appreciate you doing this with me. This is going to be so much fun.
So much fun. Yes, it's going to be great. We're going to be doing some myth busting on our conversation today. So why don't you share with the audience your story and how you got to where you are today?
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Well, I feel like every experience I've had in my entire life brought me to this moment and brought me to this work. 25 years ago, I gave birth to my third child, found myself in deep postpartum depression and questioning how women give birth and how we experience postpartum. And intuitively, this is when my intuition really kicked in and put me on my path to my work. And I thought, this is wrong. How I'm experiencing these early months of my baby's new life and how I experienced childbirth itself felt innately wrong to me. And so I began looking for a way to support women in having better birth experiences and better postpartum experiences. And I found hypnobirthing, hypnosis for childbirth, to help women give birth peacefully and, yes, even painlessly. So yeah, really. So I immediately got trained in hypnobirthing. And the first page in the training book that we shared with our clients in the textbook was the history of how Western women came to have painful childbirths. And it wasn't a long chapter, but it spoke into that women in third world countries gave birth painlessly, traumalessly, dramalessly for the most part. And I thought, what else do we as women experience because we've been taught to experience it that way? What other pain are we experiencing in our lives because of what we've been told to expect or been told otherwise? So I began teaching women hypnobirthing, women and their partners. I went into the hospital rooms. I got to see women having peaceful, painless childbirths and seeing the medical community's minds blown. And I thought, wow, if hypnosis can do this for this, what can it do otherwise? So I got my hypnotherapy certification and I started working with women to really debunk all of the stories we've been told. And those stories are deep, deep stories that we are shameful, that we are guilty, that we're not good enough, that we're not enough. And so I got my hypnosis license. I started working with women. I began seeing that I needed something faster. I loved hypnosis because it's so powerful and it's so fast. I'm a results-oriented kind of girl. And so I want results fast. And so I just said, I sort of put out to the universe, my ladies need something faster. And I found emotional freedom technique, which is tapping. We can go into that later. And I started applying that with women and really looking at, why don't women love themselves? Why don't women feel worthy? And I actually wrote a book. I, researched, where did these stories come from? Because it's absolutely not true. We're conditioned to believe them. And so eventually I found, I've been working with women for 25 years now, and found what I call the 4 core wounds and the 4 divine truths that are the basis for the foundation of self-love. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. My work evolved. I discovered that, I felt intuitively that one of the most powerful things we can do as women is give life. But whether you're a mother biologically or not, we are giving life constantly. We give life to our relationships. We give life to our businesses. We give life to our clients. We're constantly taking spirit, an idea, or spirit as in humans, from the non-physical world. We bring it through and create in the physical world. And so my work is to empower women to truly own that power.
Amazing. I mean, it's just fascinating. Every time I talk to you, it is mind blowing. I mean, painless birthing. I mean, no drama. I mean, who would not want that?
Well, and even beyond that,
Yeah.
what about ecstatic birth, right? Orgasmic birth. That's how it was always meant to be. That's how it was always meant to be, is we as women, we create through pleasure. We
Yeah.
create through pleasure. And so we get to create everything through pleasure.
Yeah. And I did get your book. I haven't had a chance to crack it open yet, but we can add a link down below if anyone wants to order your book as well. I'm sure it's as much fascinating as just listening to you speak about your story and your success, and you're just a complete rock star. And so I was trying to think, some of the myths that maybe people have working with you. And so I jotted down a couple thoughts that I wanted to kind of address with you, so you could just squash those myths all together and just bust them out, right?
Yes.
So, due to the nature of your work, what I was thinking is, do you think that they have to be in turmoil? I mean, do you think women have to be in crisis in order to benefit from working with you?
That's such a great question. And it is a total myth, right?
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is a total myth that you need to be in crisis to work with me. The work that I do takes you to your next level. So here's the deal. Unconsciously, subconsciously, we made decisions between the time we were in utero to 8 years old that affect your level of success, affect your ability to love yourself, be loved by others, affect your ability to be seen in bigger arenas. And I understand through my hypnosis training, understand how those beliefs that you made as a young girl, Carrie Ann, as those decisions you made, like I will never be seen again. We go up to the chalkboard and we do a math problem in class. We're all excited. We think we're right. We screw it up. We're humiliated. Or we had a terrible teacher that said, well, that was stupid. Why would you think that, right? And we make a decision in that moment. I will never raise my hand again. And that goes all the way to the boardroom. I will never raise my hand again. That shows up with women going to get a business loan. They don't raise their hand and ask for the loan. I don't want to look stupid. I don't, those things show up at every level, right? You might get to a level where you feel comfortable. Okay, I'm owning my power here. And then you set your sights on that next level. And that little third grade girl who felt stupid rears her ugly head again and says, oh no, I'll look stupid at that level.
Interesting.
So it's not that you need to be in crisis. Believe me,
You may not even know you're in crisis, right?
Exactly. You don't know when you're spinning your wheels. And beyond even the subconscious mind, I do soul work, Carrie Ann. I do go to the soul, because what happens is, our soul has experienced many, many lifetimes.
Right.
And as women, we can carry the history of the persecution of women of the past, right? Women who trusted their intuition, women who understood how to how to use herbs and such to heal, and then we're seen as witches and burned at the stake. How many women did I go into their soul, their Akashic records, and see these programs playing out at their chakra level?
Yeah.
Right? So there's this aspect that most people don't even know exists, that keeps us spinning the wheels. And when I work with my clients, that's the first place I go, right? I go to your soul, what's happening at a soul level. Then the second place I go is what's happening at a subconscious level. What happened in this lifetime for you when you were just a little girl and you made split decisions? And what happens is you make that decision to, I'll never raise my hand. Your subconscious mind goes, right, we will never feel this humiliated ever again. And so even though consciously you're like, I'm going to raise my hand this time, I'm going to speak my truth, your subconscious mind is screaming at you going, oh no, you'll be humiliated. And you start playing, it's like you're at odds with yourself.
Mm.
You are. So the work I do helps heal that little girl, and trust yourself again. You get to trust yourself again. And that's where I see women, really going off the rails and playing small in their own life, whether it's settling for the wrong guy, settling for the wrong job, not asking for the raise, is because they feel like they're in this inner war, inner
Yeah.
conflict, and they can't align their heart, what they really, really want, with what they believe they can have. And so it aligns that.
It sounds like almost like reprogramming the past.
You bet. I call it timeline hopping.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely, you get to recreate your childhood in a way that supports you for who you want to be.
Fascinating. Very fascinating. Yeah. Kind of like teleportation.
It is. I was sharing with someone yesterday that if I had a superpower, I'd want it to be teleportation.
That's what I chose. That's what I chose because I thought how fascinating. You could just kind of zip, zip, zip around wherever you want to go. Yeah, it sounds free to me. Real freedom. Yeah.
And you can, because what happens is when you go back to that little girl, we go back to that timeline and we heal that experience that she had, then you are free of that experience. We reframe it. So you got the attention, you got the acknowledgement, you got the kudos, you were filled up as that little girl instead of flattened out. And then you bring that to your current moment and how you behave differently. It is just profound. You get to be the person you were born to be.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. Now, how long does that take?
Well, I work with my clients for at least a year.
Okay.
So what happens is you heal that can happen within an hour, that healing,
Yeah.
right? And you skyrocket to your next level. And then what happens is you get to that next level and you're like, oh, I want to go to that next level. And that little girl may show up again. And so it's a process. This is not a destination. It's not a destination. Your personal development, because we are infinite beings. So
It's a journey.
it is a journey, and it's a beautiful journey. And as you begin to understand how your past works with your present, how that works with how you create your future, then it becomes easier and easier. You're like, oh, yeah, I see that little girl who was humiliated in front of the entire classroom is feeling frightened. And I can tune in with her and be her comfort and remind her of who she is.
Wow. So you can actually get to the point to where you can recognize and link the events that happen to the cause and effect of what's going on. Wow.
Absolutely.
Very
And
cool.
be free of those. Be free of them.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to be free of all the past baggage, stuff that we carry around forever, for years and years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Now here's another thought that I wrote down. You know, powerful, successful women don't need support, right? No, that's not true at all. Like we need all the support, right? I mean, as a small business woman, I absolutely am driven to support not only women, but specifically women because of me being a woman and but any small business specifically. But so really here's a myth that I'm sure you're going to bust. You know, due to the nature of your actual work, um, you know, how do you support women who have already kind of felt like they made it? Like they've climbed up that ladder and, you know, life is good. They're making a great salary. They have no real big complaints, but they kind of feel like, you know, self-improvement is always a good thing. So, you know, how do you approach that situation with those types of women?
Right. The struggle that I see that happens, Carrie Ann, I love this question, is that from the outside, we look at powerful women and think, oh, they've got it all together. They don't need any support. And so we project that onto them, like they've already got it together. We compare our insides to their outsides, right?
Okay.
And what I see happening to powerful women in high places, they feel like, one, they shouldn't need support. Like they should already know this. They feel like, two, if they ask for support, if they do feel a sense like, I could really use some support, I'm really doubting myself here, or my marriage is in shambles, my business is doing great, I've got this salary, I've got, you know, I've climbed the ladder. And now my husband says I can't connect to him, right? So those things come up, and there's this fear that they don't get to ask for support, that because everybody looks to them like, oh, you've got it all together, that they're somehow being inauthentic or they're somehow lying
Yeah,
about
they feel
their
ashamed,
experience.
right? They
That
feel
what
they feel ashamed.
they feel ashamed. And so they keep it to themselves. And shame is one of the number one core wounds
Mm.
that keep women from really living the highest version of themselves, is that shame. It keeps our mouths shut. We don't want to admit to anyone that everything's not perfect, you know, because everyone goes, oh, you've got it together, everything is perfect, and your life is the ideal life. And then your husband's having an affair, right? And women internalize that. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And so I like to support the most powerful women, because the most powerful women tend to be the loneliest women,
Mm.
right? They tend to work around a
Lonely at
lot
the top.
lonely at the top. They tend to be surrounded by men.
Yeah.
They have been taught that to get to that level, they have to be very masculine. And so they've oftentimes lost that connection to their feminine. So their marriage or their other relationships really suffer.
Mm.
And the truth is, you know, to go even higher, it's embodying your feminine. It's embodying your feminine. And the book that I wrote, that you purchased, really goes into that what we've been taught as women are our greatest weaknesses are actually our greatest strengths, and they're our greatest powers. And when you really tap into that and allowing yourself to balance the masculine and the feminine, then you get to have the relationships. You get to have the relationship with yourself. You get to have joy. You get to have self-love, self-compassion. And when you do that, then all of your relationships, personal and professional, are transformed. I like to say my work helps women create allies out of the enemies. we go into that professional place, into corporate or the workplace, and men feel really at home there. Like, they're playing home team. And as women, sometimes we go in as the visitor. We're the only woman there. We're kind of looking at everyone, seeing how to play our next move, how to react to everyone. But when you embody your feminine power, you get to go in as the home player, collaborating and creating allies out of those people who may have seen you as an outsider because of your gender, right? They may not even be conscious of that, but it's the unconscious gender bias that we all carry. As women, we do too. So that's why I love working with the most powerful women, because they often feel like they don't have anyone they can truly trust and lean on and be completely vulnerable with, for fear of losing their credibility.
Yeah, so you can be that missing piece for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So let's see, I got to put my glasses on because I can't really read my writing. So what is the downfall to believe that success is a destination? If success is the number one goal for everyone, what's the downfall?
Well, the downfall isn't success. The downfall is assuming that it's a destination, that you're going to get there and be done. And the downfall of that is putting your life on hold. Oh, I'll take that vacation when I reach this level of success. I'll focus on finding a husband or finding a partner when I have this level of success. And then we wake up and we find that we've lost 20 years and we're still not feeling fulfilled by our position or our level of success. And so honoring the journey, which has always been a challenge for me. That's why I like teleporting, right? I just want to be there, right? It really is about honoring the journey and celebrating every win along the way. That's one of the, I see women do this all the time, and my clients, they have this great success and they don't really celebrate it. They don't really go, I have arrived. I just had this win and I have arrived. It doesn't mean you stop achieving, you stop going for that next goal, but it's enjoying the process and who you're becoming, who you're actually becoming as you go for the next level.
Yeah, no, that's so very true, because I think we're always thinking we've reached, one goal, and then we're like, okay, what next? What next? And we don't take the time to really pause and say, this was really awesome. I mean, I worked my butt off and I made it, and I've learned and grown so much. We're just like, what next? What next? What next? Right?
Yeah, and what that really comes from is a lack of being enough, that fear that I am not enough, and where the next level is like, oh, when I get that level, I'll be enough. Oh, when I get that, I'll be enough. And that's what my work really tunes into, is accepting and knowing and really embodying your wholeness now. Your wholeness does not depend on a relationship. Your wholeness does not depend on a paycheck. Your wholeness does not depend on a position. You are whole now. And as you embody that, then you create this fulfilling, joyful life, that the cherry on top is your professional success.
Yeah. Amazing. Just amazing. So, how can people get a hold of you? And we're going to have a link below for your book, but what's the best way for people just to reach out if they want to have an initial discussion with you, or see how you can help them?
Perfect. Yes. MichelleLeeCoaching.com. There's a form there. You can sign up for a free consultation. That's the best way to get on my calendar. I'd love to chat with you, see what's going on, and see how I can support you to create what you want. So that's MichelleLee.com. Oh, no, it's Michelle Lee Coaching. MichelleLeeCoaching.com.
MichelleLeeCoaching.com, and fill out the form for an initial consultation. How long roughly does the consultation run?
45 minutes. You get lots of value in that. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for busting those myths today. And all you highly successful women need to go see and talk to Michelle Lee and her coaching, because we don't want you to continue being lonely at the top.
That's right. Thank you, Carrie Ann, for having me. This was amazing.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.